That Show, starring Joan Rivers. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Joan.
Today, we're going to be talking about, was your last party a good one? And we have one of the best, they picked it from Esquire magazine, one of the best of 19 hostesses in the United States, Pat Montadon, and Joanne Carson, who throws a great party. I've been, so ha-ha. And I know, and I'm not too good at giving parties. It's hard, like to really give a good party once you're a big person. When you're a teenager, it's very simple. All you do is find the fuse box, and the party's on its way. And in high school, I didn't go to many parties. I went to a lot of showers in the boys' locker room, but parties... And the boys walked out. But yeah, people say it's a little joke and true. But people always say, like, when you give a good party, you should accentuate your good points and hide, your bad points. So the twice that I've given parties, they've both been masquerade parties. And the one thing I learned, a hint to all of you out there: when you play spin the bottle, empty it first. The wildest party I ever went to was an office party. How many here have ever been to office parties? 2 pregnant women's hands have gone up. They're wild. And I said to the guy that invited me, what should I wear to an office party? He said, just bring a whip and a chair. Because no, they're crazy. You can meet, though. You're a single girl. My cousin Sheila met her husband at an office party. Isn't that great? She thought he was home with the kids. What did she know? And, they're wild because they all, they drink and they really the inhibitions go. I went to one office party. Everybody ended up in the mailroom playing post office. And all the secretaries would drink. One of the secretaries, tragedy struck, fell into the Xerox machine. That girl today is a rockette. And that's the joke. I messed up the joke. That girl's the Rockettes. The boss got so drunk. I wouldn't say the boss was drunk, but he insisted on running the elevator sideways. And the worst thing that happened was the chairman of the board, really, lushing it up there in the little Dixie cups, slush, slush, started dancing with the cleaning woman. We didn't know what happened to him. The next morning, he woke up in Tijuana, married to a mop. Something very dirty. Today we're talking about how to give a good party, and as I said in the intro, tell me.
Pat what? W-H-A-T?
Yes, no.
Montandon.
Montandon, but I had to introduce you.
It's a difficult name.
Yes, don't say things, I'm going to give you applause.
Oh, okay.
Pat Montandon, in case you heard that, was picked by Esquire as one of the top hostesses in the United States. She's also a model, as you can catch, but not happy. Very good looking, and she's entertained such people as Teddy Kennedy and Frank Sinatra, and I'm delighted to have you on the show.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Go good with Pat to discuss parties. I have a friend of mine, she was in the business, she left, and now she's going back into the business by mistake because her husband will kill her if he realizes it. But she's such a good personality, using her all the shows, and a great party giver, Mrs. Johnny Carson. Joanne. No, God, goodness forbid. You didn't break the set.
Well, I hit something.
Every time you say the other word, it's $35, so I don't say anymore. That's Joanne, now you consider yourself a good party giver.
Yes, I do. Well, let's say I don't. My guests do.
Yes. Now, how did you start giving, because you give very elaborate setups to your parties.
Well, that's because I've got a very elaborate mind. I mean, I've got a very active mind. I like to think, really go wild imagination and really give great parties that people go away saying, wow, wasn't that a party? And they remember it for years. I don't give that many. I give like one a year, and it's...
Is that what somebody told me?
Well, you only came...
Pat,
Why weren't we invited?
Yes. In your book, which we're going to talk about, How to Be a Party Girl, which Pat wrote, and gives you like lots of tips on, like how to give a good party. That's one of the first things you said when I was reading it yesterday. Have a theme.
Well, I believe in themes. Although, people expect me to come out of a cake at a smoker with this title, How to Be a Party Girl.
I bet your phone rang a lot after the book was published.
I had to get an unlisted number.
Yeah.
2 unlisted numbers, as a matter of fact.
Because of the, yeah.
Yes, but I believe in themes, as Joanne does, because I think this gives people a chance to get out of themselves and to become someone other than what they are. Maybe they're not so happy with
Well,
what
it
they are.
also gives you a hook to hang things on. I mean, come to a such and such party. I think, especially with us, I mean, we go to a lot of parties, we invite a lot of people, we're invited to parties, so that when you say, I'm having a party, if you can say, I am having a party that we are going to do so-and-so, it's something exciting for them to look forward to.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Especially if it's a surprise party.
Yes, which she gives Johnny, every birthday gets a surprise party, so I think he's beginning to catch on.
No, because every year he really believes, the last one I've given, I can't top it because I keep alternating. I change locations, and this kind of thing. I do things like I don't decorate the house and leave it bare plaster until the day he walks out of the door, and then he figures you can't give a party like this, so he forgets about it, and all of a sudden it's done in an afternoon. He comes home, surprise.
Now you
So
do this,
surprised.
Pat. You change, in your book, you were talking about your fiesta party, which is one of the
Yes,
first
the
you ever
Mexican
gave.
fiesta party. But really, Joan, I want to say this. I think party giving is a beautiful way to meet people. It can alleviate loneliness. And for a single girl or for a married woman who's new in a community, we're a mobile society today. And how do we meet people? So
Go on a
this is
street
a
corner.
way to meet people. Yeah, well, I've had to give a stranger party, too.
What? Oh.
Bring a stranger party, rather. And that's sort of fun because you don't know what's going to happen. And this is a way to meet people. Really, can you imagine?
Good idea.
No, it is a good idea. I knew, when I went to San Francisco, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any money, and I didn't have a job. And all of this has sort of happened to me because of entertaining and party giving. And I knew 3 people. So I said, all right, each of you invite a stranger, a total stranger, and bring a stranger to my party. And I did this because there was a man I wanted to meet. So I went to him and I said, will you be my stranger?
He said, if my wife lets me. That's a great idea. Now, Joanne, when you were single, did you give parties? Pat's single, but Pat's so good looking, so you're not, the model and the hair, the whole thing.
No,
so sure,
no,
that would
no.
show
I have
off. What is
something
a
to say
homely
about that,
gift?
too.
Say it.
Well, I really feel it's a matter of attitude, and I think anyone can be homely. I really do. Honest to
Homely
goodness.
or
pretty.
homely?
Ugly.
Oh, I thought you said anybody can be homey.
Well, anyone can be homey, too, but homely. Really, if we didn't do the most for ourselves, we could be very draggy kinds of people. And I think it's attitude. I think the whole thing is attitude. You walk down the street, and what do you see? You see people going... And if you say, good morning, they look at you like, what do you want, lady? And I really believe in this warmth of putting your hand out to people, of entertaining,
In New
of
York?
bringing people, sure, in New York, in Chicago, in Warrika, Oklahoma, where I'm from, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles. It doesn't make any difference. People are people, and we all have the same desire.
Now,
What if you're
when you-
antisocial?
Now,
Well, then, okay, if you want to sit in a black closet with the door closed.
No.
when you were single in New York, Joanne.
Yes.
Now, did you entertain, because I think it's a great idea what Pat says.
No, I didn't. I was frightened.
Yes.
I really was frightened, too. I was a single girl in New York. I was from San Francisco, raised in a convent, and all of a sudden, I just got an apartment and sealed a door. I didn't want...
This happens to so many people.
But I went-
you've done all right.
Obviously, she opened the door once. And it wasn't the acorn. Did you go to many? You didn't entertain at home then, as a
No,
single girl?
I entertained, really. I gave one party for some golf pros that I knew that I grew up with in San Francisco. Outside of that, I went to a few parties when I first came, and then I quit. Because I said to myself, if I see, I don't drink, so, big... If I saw one more black crepe dress, and one more guy came up and said, whatever,
What did they say?
They said whatever.
it's the same thing. It's,
Yes.
you could say, my mother just died, and they'd say the same, lean
Yes.
over at you and say, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so right.
So I just said, I have a roommate, and that ended it, and I was delighted. Nobody bothered me, and I was happy. I just don't like large cocktail parties. There's no reason for it.
Often there are other voices, other rooms kind of thing. And I agree with that general feeling. I feel that you can have a party in your living room, a picnic on the floor. With one person, it's better with one person, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Especially on the floor.
But do it well. But
Yes.
let's entertain with some flair and some feeling for people. I think we've lost so much in terms of warmth and communication. And that's really what How to Be a Party Girl is all about. It's a guide in terms of communication.
Now, when you plan a party, Pat, do you plan very specifically, like you say, well, I'll invite Joanne now, I'll invite Joanne, she and Johnny are these kind of people, so then we won't invite so-and-so, but we might invite, I mean, do you really plan your guests?
I do, yes. And that may sound terribly contrived, but I think
Oh,
you have
have
to
to.
mix groups
You
very
have to.
well. And, of course, if you're having a big bash, a jet set kind of bash, that's different. You can have all kinds of people coming. It doesn't make any difference because you can get away from the wallflower if you want to and let her find her own kind against the wall.
Now, with Joanne, you have, I know, like you've entertained the Jack Bennys, you've entertained, which are like names in our kind of society. You know, I
Well,
mean,
they're-
these are names you grew up with as a child, and suddenly he's at your
Yes.
house. Now, how do you treat something like that?
I faint. No, because of the people we know in this business, when I invite somebody, like the dinner party I gave was for Jack Benny. Jack and Mary Benny were in New York. So I gave the party for them, and I invited the people that I like you and Edgar, and then I invited people that I like that are also friends of the Bennys, like Ed Sullivan and his wife, so that my guest of honor is comfortable. I'm also comfortable. I can't invite, people I don't know. So it worked. I mean, I knew certain people would get along with other people, and it worked. And that's how I invite people.
That's very important at a small party, isn't it?
After the commercial, I want to find out what happens if you invite them and it doesn't work.
Oh, that's
So we'll be
happens.
right back with Pat and Joe. We're back talking with the author of How to Be a Party Girl, Pat Montandon, right? I got
Yes.
it right this time, huh?
That's great.
And Joanne Carson. And in your book, you discuss having Frank Sinatra over. And I know Joanne has. Now, how did you treat him, Pat, when he came?
Well,
What did you do?
this is very funny. I was at Lake Tahoe managing a store for Joseph Magnin at the time, and I had met Frank, and I was completely, I was like, this, he has magnetic blue eyes, and he's just gorgeous, and this wonderful personality, and we saw each other several times, and I said, Frank, I'm giving a party. I had a little cottage up in the mountains, and I had several of my friends from San Francisco, and I asked him if he would come to the party, and he said he would be delighted. And he finally arrived. He was late, and a friend of mine broke out in hives. She was just completely in shambles over the thought of meeting Frank Sinatra. And at the time, I had a Great Dane, this huge dog, and I put him out on the porch so he wouldn't bite people. Frank comes swinging up the walk, and he says to me, Pat, hi, what a beautiful Great Dane. And I said, stay away from him. He's really vicious. And he said, as he opened the door, dogs love me. And the dog bit him on the wrist.
I hope the theme of the party was hospital.
Yeah, it should have been.
Now, with Frank, did you have good, did he come on time for you to begin with?
Well, he was the one that originated the party. It was an ad-lib party. We were having dinner with the Persons and the Surfs and everything at Gatsby's, which is downstairs from our building. And all of a sudden, Frank looked at his watch and he said, we want to see Bennett on Johnny's show tonight. Let's go upstairs and watch on your set. So it was like Frank's party. He was on time because he invited himself. He is the great host.
Isn't he wonderful?
I just went upstairs and opened the door, and his his man came in with him, and he set up the bar. He brought his own booze, and the only thing I served was hot buttered popcorn. It was a great party.
He's a marvelous guest, and I think in order to be a good host or hostess, you have to be a good guest
What's
also.
a good guest?
Frank
Pat?
is a good guest and a good
Someone who
host.
participates and someone who will go along with what's going on, and they dress up for the occasion, and they live up to something. They really try, and they don't go with a negative attitude. Of course, I'm really big on attitude.
No, but yes, but I think so. If you're going to have a lousy day at the office, don't come to my party when I've worked all week long to make it a success and sit there and go, I've had a lousy day.
That's
Forget it,
right.
Yes.
I've had
and stay
people do
home
that.
and be lousy in your own house. I don't need you.
Exactly.
Isn't it? You talk about planning a party. This is Johnny's 42nd surprise birthday party.
Last year.
Last year, yes. And this is what she planned. She had all the guests, and it was like a showbiz thing.
Well, you've got to remember,
that's
I'm married to a very creative man, so I have to come up with very creative things. It's like the Miracle on 42nd was a miracle I could pull it off. But everybody that was invited had something that pertained to them. It's like down here, Pregnant Ideas.
I was pregnant
By
at the
Joan
time.
Rivers. Joan was pregnant at the time. Danny Stradella from Danny's Hideaway gave us the party, so that's why I said produce with leftovers. So there was a little joke with each person.
Cue cards, it says, by Louis Nizer. Do you see that? He had done the little individual place cards. You imagine
Louis
Louis
Nizer
the
did
lawyer.
my place cards.
You think you're paying him to take care of you in court, and he's at home doing the little place cards.
Bess Myerson plays piano. Arnold Grant's Johnny's lawyer.
Special advisor at NBC, Arnold Grant. You know, so that's everybody. Every single guest on the list was on that little list. Every guest that Joanne invited.
Well,
Staff
people like
psychiatrist
to
Dan
participate.
Irwin. Yeah.
They
Yes.
like to feel part
Well,
of
this was
something.
it. And then
if you do it with imagination as you did, then they love it. And we need balance in our lives.
Well, it's like the one I gave
Yes,
last week.
the
to
last
Johnny.
party she gave for Johnny's birthday. Tell what you did with this, which was wild.
Well, this is a surprise birthday party, again, as they always are. But this year I had to go a little different because we had the mayor, Mayor Lindsay and his wife, and we had the serfs
Fun
and the
couple.
croissants. You know, people like this
The mayor,
that
that
have
is.
been to every party imaginable. There's nothing you could think of. And I said, hey, I said to Joni, when was the last time you were on a treasure hunt? She says, you know, about 4.
When I was looking for a husband.
Well, so I decided, all right, we're all grown up, we're adults, we've done everything. Let's have a treasure hunt for a party in limousines. I mean, a real treasure hunt like you did as a kid.
you have to find the
instead
treasure
of-
first.
Yeah, the
But
treasure was the
that's
limousine.
it.
Right.
That's-
Instead of going out and getting like you did when you were kids, a plate, a dish, a this or that, the other thing, the treasure was a list of items relating to every single person that was at the party. So they not only had to get the treasure, but then they had to guess who it belonged to. Like one of the lists, one of
To the mayor.
treasures was a garbage can lid.
For the mayor, because we have a garbage strike in New York.
So, you know, 7 cars came back with 7 garbage can lids. And we had prizes. We had, you know, first prize, second prize, third prize. We had 4th prize for not getting arrested, you know, going around New York to getting all
The
these
mayor
things.
got that. But I think he had a slight edge on it. What makes a bad party? Like we were talking, when you get everybody together. Now, Joanne's worked. Joanne got everybody together, and the mayor was adorable, and everybody worked, and we all had a good time. What would happen if you got everybody together and it didn't work? What would you do?
Well, of course, this happens to everybody. There are times when things you can work very hard, it just doesn't come off, and you can't explain it. However, I do think if a hostess works hard on, first of all, warmth is extremely important. Greeting each guest by name, knowing something about them, introducing them to other people. I think lighting is extremely important. Yeah, I have a thing against PG&E on the West Coast.
What's
you
that?
know, Pacific Gas and Electric. You know, turn it off. Let's do everything by candlelight. It's so flattering. Or soft pink bulbs in the lights. You walk in often to a party, and the lights are on overhead, and all your makeup shows, and the men look bristly, and it's just horrible. This can kill a party immediately.
Yes.
Of course, I believe in background music. I think that's important. It's like good theater. A good party is like good theater. It can be done very inexpensively. It can be done very expensively, either way. But a hostess should plan everything very, very well for her guests.
She should
And-
anticipate.
Do you
Yes.
anticipate, Joanne?
Oh, yes, I anticipate what my guests need before they ask. If I have a man coming to a party that smokes, I make sure I have a lighter. You know, if he smokes a pipe, that will, you know, light a pipe.
She
you know,
does the
things like
attention to
It's
this.
about
detail.
everything like this, which is just, you know,
Because I
which
would
makes
hate
a
to
good
have
party.
somebody ask.
Sure. Well, it's
And much better.
consideration.
We'll be back after the commercials, so be considerate and watch the commercials. All right, to find out party questions and answers from Pat or Joanne, I'm in the audience. Raise your hands high. Thank goodness. Yes.
What can a husband do to make a party more fun?
Joanne, what does Johnny do to make a party more fun?
Johnny makes any party more fun simply by, he has a very fast, quick mind. He grasps situations and is very funny with comments and things. So he makes it fun just by being there.
What can a husband do in general, Pat?
Well, I think help the wife, you know, and make people feel comfortable.
Stay out of the
It's
house
very
until
important.
everything's done.
Yes.
Get out of her hair.
And don't go in the guest bathroom and use the towels 2 minutes before the guests show. Oh, my. The soap is clean. Leave it, you know.
I don't have a husband, so I can't answer that very well.
We'll talk later.
Let's
Next, questions. Aha, little girl in green who's going to be a nurse. I check out the audience before.
When the guests come, should you take their coats separately, or should you let them put them someplace themselves?
Well, it depends on what kind of party you're having. If it's a great big party and you can't personally take the guests, or you haven't take the coats, or you haven't someone to do it, then just direct them to a place. But you should have an area set aside for the coats.
If it's a mink, grab it, leave her, and walk. That's questions anymore? Yes, here.
What do most women do at a party?
What do most women do at a party, Pat? Do you find they tend to do one special thing like...
Well, no, just participate and discuss. And I think it's very good if people are aware of what's going on in the world, because I think all kinds of conversation should be brought up at parties. I think you can talk about the world situation or whatever.
Because it's Joanne just went, no world situation for you?
Late at night you can. Like when most of the guests have gone, there's a break where a lot leave. But if you get a small group of people that you can sit down, 8 of you, then you can do it. But when you get it into a big conversation, it can be deadly.
Well, once again, it depends on the type of party.
And also, if they're all on the same side in politics, because if they don't like each other, it's the end of the party. Yes, you raised your hand?
What is the last thing a hostess should do before the guests arrive?
The last thing a hostess should do.
A hostess should be
Get out of the
sure
house.
that she should be sure that she is composed and ready to receive her guests. Everything should be organized well ahead.
Now, Joanne, whenever I've come to her house, everything is finished. I admire you so much. And she's sitting there in like the cute little outfit, the little pearls going whoopee whoopee. And you have no idea that she was like killing herself up to 15 minutes before.
That's what makes a great hostess, because if you're calm and composed, your guests will be. But if you say, oh my God, the meat has burned and my caterer hasn't showed up and the floor is wet, then they get nervous and upset. So if you're composed, they're composed.
And never apologize for anything. Never, ever apologize for anything. How about the hostess? You walk in and she says, the rug didn't come back, and the bartender didn't show up, and it makes you nervous.
I'm gonna have to apologize. It's very interesting. I want to thank Pat so much. How to Be a Party Girl, read it, and Joanne, we're coming to every party from now on.
You're
a pleasure to
invited.
have you. And goodbye out there. Write to me. I like hearing from you.
If you'd like to see the show when you're in New York, write Joan Rivers Tickets, Box 850, Radio City Station, New York, 10019. Miss Rivers' guests stay at the Hotel Commodore while in New York.